Good morning, YouTube. From where you're at, I can't even see what you're seeing, so I probably should have looked at my hair in the mirror once or twice. By now, if those of you who watch me don't know, I'm just a normal person. Um, okay, let's see. When did I start YouTube? Maybe like 7 or 8 years ago at least, when it came out. I was on a different uh, vent then, so it's different. But um, anyway, I remember I used to really take time to make sure my hair was right and my makeup was right and get the camera right and get the lighting all right and stuff like that. And I don't know what happened with that, you guys. It's kind of like when you get married to somebody, you just kind of let yourself go and be normal. So I'm just, like I say, I'm just normal. Those who met me are always like, yeah, you're just like you look like on YouTube. Or you're just like you are on YouTube. And I am. So anyway, in this pipe is, it's one of my Dunnies. Actually, I know you guys know I have like 3 or 4 of them. If I like a pipe, I'll get 3 or 4 of the same one. So the other one was a 410 root briar, and this is a root briar, but it's a, I don't know what the difference is, but it's a 4210 or 4120. There's got to be a little bit of difference. It doesn't matter. I like it because it has a different number than the other one, so I can tell them apart. My worst part is, of course, and then you guys always know that 2010 that I carry with me a lot has all the jewelry. Exact same pipe. I like this pipe, and I loved the color of it and everything. So when I got another one in 2010, and on it I have all my jewelry. I'll wear pipe jewelry. I'll have a little piece hanging off with a chain and the pipes and stuff and the queen crowns and stuff on it, and I really do particularly like this. This has always been a good to sit in my hand. It's a little bit bigger, bold than what I like, but the nice thing about it is you guys have seen me before where I say it's got to fit into that crook of the hand. Well, this one doesn't quite fit where the little pipes fit. It fits just the finger below it. So it fits in that crook of my hand. Isn't that cute? Everybody has their own way of judging their pipes, and that's how I kind of gauge the sizes to where they need to go for me to cover the pipe. And the only reason I cover the pipe is because in extreme cold, because I have a tendency to use my fingers on it to start it, or to keep it from blowing, or to keep it from going too fast. If you're out on a windy day, haven't you ever noticed your tobacco's gone all the time? Well, if you keep your tip pointed toward the way that wind's blowing in there, it will smoke your pipe for you. As a matter of fact, all right, then we're going to talk about some cake. I didn't know what to talk about this morning. I could talk about, what my daily smoke's going to be, taught. Oh, in him, I actually haven't loaded him up yet because I still have a little bit from it. I'm going to put in some 2005 Latakia. I just wanted something really different than the other things I'm smoking. And this one I'm smoking Dunhill Standard Mixture Medium. It's just a nice Dunhill smoke. And but what I'm mostly doing, and then I'm going on a vanilla binge, it seems like. So I have some of that vanilla custard that I'm getting, but I'm also getting ready to, well, I've already opened it. It's a tin of 2015 Virginia Blend from McCullen. And it's, no, I'm sorry, it's not McCullen, it's Pease. What am I thinking? Well, you get so many things going in your head, and if you don't read like you're supposed to, like if I had read that, I would have seen that. It would have been much easier, right? But I didn't. I'm actually doing a lot of snuff, so you excuse me while I get the mud out of my nose. Mud nose. Get too much in there, sometimes you have to. People who haven't done snuff and who are starting snuff and stuff, that's really an important thing to do, is remember, don't go to bed without really blowing your nose. A lot of people use those little washing things that wash things through, but I didn't like it. Because I'm probably not doing it right. Hey, if I was doing it right, I might have liked it. Coffee, mudslide. No, no, no. It's coffee and white Russian today. It's going to be a Russian day today, I think. Let's see. I'll be rushing to this place and rushing to that place and rushing to get lunch done, rushing to get... Well, I haven't got breakfast done yet. Kevin's home, so I'm having to take care of him because he had part of his foot removed again. So here we go again. Boy, my life sucks. And remember, this is the first day of the rest of my life. And I do remember that. It's just, thanks. And then, Chris Close Tattoos. Chris, K-R-I-S, Close, C-L-O-S-E, Tattoos. You can figure that one out. Anyway, she's on Instagram, and I just dearly love her. And she does some magnificent, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful tattoos. A lot of really bright, but of course, all tattoos are so bright and everything. You know, I got like a couple of them. I actually had one removed. Hers are bright. She's got some that are very female empowering kind of look to them, and then a lot of them are just beautiful pieces. Anyway, right around Christmas time, she had sent me a bunch of Buzz. It's bubblegum, and I hadn't had any out for a little while, so I went through my box and found a brand new unopened tin of bubblegum. The thing about bubblegum is you put a little bubblegum in there, put a little bubblegum up your nose, and all day long, well, not all day long, but for a while, that smell and that taste, but mostly that smell will stay in your nose, and the world's always a better place with a little bubblegum. Of course, if you have false teeth, that doesn't apply, does it? Unless you got those little clicking kind. I don't know, can people with false teeth chew bubblegum? I'm trying to think if I know anybody with false teeth that would admit it. I'll be darned. I can't come up with anybody I know that has full plates. Oh, well, an odd thing to be thinking of on YouTube, isn't it? And some of you'll see me put up YouTubes for a little while, and I'll put up the video for a little while, but mostly I'm just talking to you guys, my friends. And once my friends have kind of checked in and said, hey, good morning, or gotcha, or I saw this, I usually take them down because they're really not about anything. If they are about something, I'll leave them up, okay? How's that? But in the meantime, I'll just put... And and I was unpacking I told you I'm bringing up my stuff. Well, I brought up some of my winter clothes, and inside my winter clothes was 5 tins of tobacco that I must have they were in a sack, like I had just gotten them or something. But they were older and different years, so I know it wasn't like last year's. So and people say, well, how much tobacco do you got? And I keep finding tins of tobacco and stuff, new unopened tins of tobacco. Newer stuff. Unfortunately, none of it's flavored, none of it's aromatic, so it's just tobacco. Tobacco is tobacco is tobacco. But it is kind of funny that I can't decide if I want to just take and see. This is where the problem comes in. These are tobaccos I like. They're not my favorites, except for the 965. And they're no aromatics. They're all in really good shape because they've been packed in clothes. So there's no dents, pits, or anything. And it's rather, same temperature when it's all in the middle of a tub with the clothes in there. So here comes the question. Should I pull them out and put some new ones in? Some 2020? Or should I just leave them in there for another year and keep doing the way I was? Every so often throw some tins into something you're packing away. It's like getting a surprise all the time. Yeah, you know, I know. I bought it. I packed it. I might even know that it's in there if I look at a box and say, hey, I bet that has such and such in it. But it's still kind of fun to just run across that. Now, if I was a big jewelry person, you know, I'd do that with jewelry. I'd tuck a piece of jewelry, costume jewelry, here and there or something. But since, anyway, focus. While I was looking into, the thing is, see, I was looking for snuff. So that that that's a process in itself. When I was looking for some snuff that I had done, I came across some 2016 old mills. Now this was a very, very, I wasn't real fond of this at the time that I got it, but I was getting so many of Chef Chris's stuff that I was in love with a couple of his, and so this kind of took a back burner, and so I didn't use very much of it. I liked his Spotted Dick that year. Let's see, was that the year he came out with that butternut toast? And once I got the butternut toast, nothing else mattered because that was it. There was something with the name Blue in it, which I really liked too. And something that had my name in it. Anyway, I opened it up, and the smell just hit me just like it did the first time I ever had it. And I don't know if you can see, but it's very kind of clumpy. So what I will do is, but not so clumpy I won't use it, or not so dry I won't use it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put it through a grinder and check out, you know, the temperature, not just the, going to check out, make sure it's still got a little bit of oils to it. When I say I'm going to put it through a grinder, all that means is I'm going to push it through a very fine little screen that, don't know what gauge it is. I need to get some more little bits and pieces. Gosh, I don't even know who does this anymore that I could get them from. I used to be able just to, you know, reach out to some of these guys and Chef Daniels and stuff and just say, hey, you know, would you send me the scrap pieces of your screen from when you refine these? And because they do it like, well, anybody who knows the snuff process knows what I'm talking about. Those who don't, then, you know, you're just like, okay, she's just talking on again. But they have to push it through some small screens, and so I used to have pieces I could get. He would send me a couple of tins of snuff, and he would pack it into the trash from his stuff. He would send me a bunch of this. He used to sometimes even send me bits and pieces of tobacco leaf so I could. Then he passed away, and another guy took his place, and I invested probably close to $400 into getting 2 different blends from him. And gosh, in a pinch, sometimes you'll do anything, right, to try to get a good snuff made for you, won't you? So in a pinch, I took and sent a guy in a pinch to send him money on PayPal so I can track it and stuff. But now it's been too long, and I really had faith in him, and he gave me all these reasons, and then he moved, and oh gosh, you know, it was going to cost more than it did. First you have to put down a down payment before he'll even start, and he was real good at first, and then all of a sudden he ghosted. It's really kind of sad because I was going to be some of the last couple of batches he made. I think he just got in over his head and couldn't keep up, and I feel bad about that. But you know, I would like to have had my money returned. PayPal wouldn't get into it because I sent it as a friend, and so oh well, shit like that happens. I have lost a lot more for a lot less. All right, anyway. Well, see, that's the thing about talking to you guys. When I'm talking to you guys, friends just go off on tangents. And it's kind of odd not having someone to answer me back, because as I talk on and on, you know, someone would keep me, my friends know me well enough to keep me on track. Um, they also know that they are the ones that are responsible for making sure that we keep into the relationship and they talk to me, because I'm the worst. I am the worst about making a phone call. Once you contact me, I will go on and on and on. But if you don't, contact me first, I figure you don't want me to go on and on and on. All right. So, here was what I was also going to say. Along with finding those tins and those clothes that was packed, I found a little bit of some, it says very dry, sorry, and it was some of my dad's private blend. It's called Ajax. And my dad was into briar and then in tobacco too. You got to realize that, they sowed briar, and then my mom's family sowed tobacco or grew tobacco and stuff. But anyway, so he knew a lot of the blenders and stuff too. Heck, it was so wonderful when we used to go to the big, tobacco warehouses out on the East Coast. I need to look some of that information up, but it's not worth looking up. It's in my notebooks. My little stories about it are different than I can remember. There was one warehouse we used to go to that had a number, and I didn't understand that all the warehouses had a different number. I remember I was little, so I thought it was there were going to be like 15 warehouses because it was warehouse 15. So I wanted to know where 1 through 15 was. And my dad did his best to educate me as I went along. But thank God, too, you got to realize that in the 60s and 70s, I managed to blow up enough of my brain that, and in the 80s and the 90s were really good years, too. Man, they were great years. Boy, in the 2000s, wow, those were really, really good years. I have had so many good years, man, and had so many opportunities to fry my brain. Tobacco, alcohol, everything. But yeah, I know 2020's been really crappy, so maybe the 2020s aren't going to be very good. But golly, when you look ahead, there's so much to see. But when you look behind all of us, as we all start looking back and stuff, those that are in our generation now are never going to get to see and experience, Well, for one thing, they might not ever get to go to a concert. Oh my, no concerts. I was a concert rat. I really was. I scurried from them here to here. I had musical friends. I can't carry a tune. If you put it in a bucket and put a lid on it and sit me on my way, I still couldn't carry a tune. So they say there is no key of Sue. I used to do the shaloop-loops and the ba-bop-ba-bops. I was a great background singer. One year, a bunch of my girlfriends and I went to, they used to have open mic concerts at the Olive, and the Olive was, a bar. So my friends and I, all of us girls, we used to follow some bands, and one of the bands we followed was, I'm going to smoke some AJ. It's one of my dad's. Oh my, it is very dry. Well, let's see. Let me put some of that vanilla under it just to keep it from burning. None. So we went to the bar. Well, after we're at the bar, don't you just love the way I just pack it in there? After we went to the bar, and we got there and we were waiting and waiting. Well, you know how band guys are. None of them had any money. And so, of course, they were all in one disabled car, apparently. So they didn't show up. Back then you didn't have cell phones, so they just didn't show up. Oh, we waited for them for a while, but we never had to worry about having fun. So we knew some of the other people because there again, when you run around with bands, you know the other local bands and stuff. So it was a lot of fun, but they didn't show up. So it came time for them to perform, and I can't remember what song they were performing, but us girls were going to be the backup singers and just do the, uh, shalays and the bops and the all that kind of stuff. And I can't. I wish I could remember the song. Dead brain cells. I drank that night a lot. Um, anyway, we got up there and the music played, and all we did was just do the shalops and the boops and the you know uh, loves that they'd have in the background. For some reason, it seemed like that was part of it. I'm gonna have. It was a long time ago, so it could have been the songs from the 50s, and it's still been current. I am old. I keep telling you guys I'm old. Um, I'm gonna have to really think on that. In the middle of the night tonight, I'll sit up in bed and I'll remember the song, but right now I can't. But anyway, so us three girls went up there in our little outfits, because back then hot pants were in and short shorts and short skirts. The object of going to the bar when you were single back then was to see if you could get your neckline, how close you could get your neckline to the hem of your skirt. And whoever won that night, we called her bait, and we bought her drinks. So I was lucky enough I had good legs, and I could get away with really short skirts. Looked like a marshmallow on toothpicks, but I could get away with really short skirts. Sometimes all they had to do was start from the bottom and come up, because I used to wear 3-inch heels all the time. They'd start from the bottom and start coming up, and how other people, they'd start from the bottom and go top and go down. Well, it was fun. Met a guy who loved to. Honestly, we used to go to this one bar that had two kind of areas that you sat in, and so there was a couple of steps, and we used to sit at the end of that row of tables near the steps. And honest to gosh, there was this guy that used to come over and rub my feet. I think he would have rubbed anybody's feet, but thank God he rubbed mine, because those 3-inch heels were killers, and I danced all the time. Oh, anyway, I was going to tell you about, we went to that bar and we did the shaloop, the bops, and we won first place. Like I say, it's if you got through my little really dreary part in the middle, the video comes out okay, doesn't it? It is a marvelous day. I think the highs are going to be in the upper 80s, which is kind of nice, because the mornings are starting out, in the 60s. So I can do that. I don't mind that little jump. Boy, Kansas and Missouri now. Oh gosh, it's going to be so weird to say Missouri. I have lived in Kansas. Well, I don't think I've lived in Missouri more than a couple of years, maybe 3 total, my whole life. And elsewhere, probably 2 years of my life here. I went to Alaska for a while and stuff. And I think if you live anywhere over 3 months, you got to call it home. But overall, I have a tendency to stay in Kansas. Well, I'm across the river, but it sounds weird to me to say I live in Missouri, because I keep telling people I lived in Kansas, and then somebody in my crowd, or else my husband, will correct me and say, no, you live in Missouri. So if I tell you I live in Kansas, I live in Missouri. But I'm close to Kansas. I'm so close that if I really looked hard enough, I could probably see Kansas. Actually, if I just go down 9, I'm right on the river, and I can see Kansas, because it is right across the river. Off focus. Well, you all have a good morning. Excuse me, I'm going to light my dad's tobacco. And there was a story about Ajax. I think YouTube kills all of our old videos or something. I don't know if anyone can even access the old stories. I think it'll go back at least a couple years, but truthfully, a couple years ago, I was not in a good place. So you almost need to go back 5 years ago to get my good videos, like when I introduced myself and talked about being 4 years old and bubble pipes and dancing with tobacco leaves on us. And so I probably ought to start all over. You know, I think I think we all ought to start all over again. I think we all ought to just reintroduce ourselves every couple of years and retell the stories that people say, like, how did you get started smoking and stuff like that. I think we all ought to just go into those little things every once in a while because so many of us just catch part of people's lives. And that's what YouTube is. It's just these little bits and pieces of people's lives. I like YouTube because I like to be able to talk to my friends. I don't think I'll ever reach a, there's people that are out there that have just unbelievable amounts of followers, and isn't that nice? I have a really nice little group, and I love talking to my friends. So I'm going to smoke some of my dad. I'm going to actually hydrate some of that because that is so dry. And I got to go make me another cup of coffee. And I got to get on the run because it is getting late and I wanted to, another one of my pipe thrones. Oh, you might have seen that. This one's purple. I just love my purple. Anyway, I got to get started. I got about enough, I got almost enough nicotine in me. Got to do something about that. What I'm going to do probably is take it out, put it in a jar, and get it out of this tin. There's nothing wrong with this tin, though. It had no pits. It has no dents. The inside, sometimes the oils from the tobacco will kind of eat into the tins, and that hasn't happened. I am so pleased that it made it through 4 years because every time I do some old meals, it reminds me of a good friendship with somebody, It's the same way with, even if it was YouTube, even if it was direct messages, even if you never saw them in person, you felt like they were a friend. And so every time I do this, I remember a friend. Same way with talk. This is my Rick Black. It's really an almost too big a bowl, but since part of that pipe is used in its rest, it's not quite as deep as it seems. But really, I'm having a bit of a problem because I don't load my bowls up full on this one because I just would never get through it. And so, as you can see, I'm getting a little bit of a burn and a scorch. So, one of two things needs to happen. I need to get it to Robert. I wish the pipe had been just about, see the little ridges on it? I wish it was about 2 ridges smaller too. But other than that, that's just me. Everybody has a certain thing. Other than that, isn't this just the most gorgeous thing you ever saw? I just adore that, and I don't know if you can see the writing on the band or anything. And that's a dunny, so what's not to like about a Dunhill? Inside I got, so many pipes to choose from. Well, I'll probably put a clincher in because I'll be, keeping it in my mouth while I'm cleaning and stuff. So, happy, happy, joy, joy. I'm watching you.